best pedagogies to the table, to our students, to our teachers. But I find very few such opportunities for leaders to upgrade themselves. We have to continuously search for, like I attend so many webinars, and then you get to learn only maybe 5 or 10% of very useful knowledge or practical knowledge which you can actually bring to the table. So I don't know if you can suggest a few programs or this thing for the leaders, so that once we learn, of course, we bring back so much to the larger audience. Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So I think your question is an answer in itself, to the extent that if you want to take back something, what is the role of the teacher? I said you have to be a role model. Now you have to be a role model for what? You have whatever things you want your teachers to do, you have to be a role model, which means you have to model that behavior yourself. So let me give you 2 or 3 examples. You want your teachers to be the good readers. You read books yourself. So you read a book in a month, and then you discuss with the teacher that this is the book I read and I want to share with you the content. You give a presentation on book reading. You want your teachers to do online courses. There are thousands of courses available online and free on Coursera, Udemy, edX, and so many platforms are there, Future Learn. You do 1 or 2 courses and you talk about it, that this is what I learned and this is how I experienced and I got evolved after that course, to your teachers in the meeting. And you ask them, would some of you would also like to join one of the courses? Here is the link. Here is the list of courses. So that is the second thing that you can do about. You want your teachers to become the, let us say, good in their pedagogy. So what are the good pedagogical practices? If you have evolved something, you share it, or you invite somebody to your teachers that this is one. So say, for example, art integration. How we integrate art in a science class, I think the teachers have to see it. So if you can do it yourself, you may have some specialized domain, you share that. Those domains which are not specialized, you invite a specialist, or you share it online. It is available. You don't have to go to any place, Mrs. Nagpal. I tell you, you only Google it, that say that I want an example where art can be integrated in mathematics. You will get thousands of results in return. Choose 1 or 2 of them, and you develop your own perspective on it, and share it with your teacher. So I can give you thousands of examples. We can talk outside this room also, if need be. I am prepared to come to your help if you are very hard pressed with the question that you have said. But I can assure you, the beginning is that let us take the first step. And the first step is that one behavior which we want our teachers to follow, let us give an example of that behavior by deploying it ourselves.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a question, Dr. Pandey. This is Anita Khosla from
Yes, ma'am.
International as an academic director. My question always keeps pondering, how far are we clear in NEP? There's a lot of ambiguity. So has it taken a shape, or still we are in midway and there's nothing concrete, which keeps pondering, where are we? We're talking about NEP, so many workshops we attend, webinars, but still the clarity is not there. Especially for me, that clarity is not there as a senior educationist of 45 years of experience, but still I don't have that clarity. So can you please throw some light on how it's going to be?
Ma'am, you have put me under a lot of pressure. When you are saying that with 45 years you have no clarity, how dare I say that I have got clarity?
No, one second. With 45 years of experience of late 2020 NEP, I'm talking about my experience, 45. That time there was no NEP. It has
No, I'm talking of your experience only.
Yeah.
With 45 years of experience, you have no clarity about NEP. How dare I say that I have clarity about NEP?
That is what
but anyway, that
there's
is
a lot of ambiguity, no?
Yeah.
Monday, there's
okay. So,
ambiguity.
ma'am, I have a very simple formula for you. that you don't take it otherwise. For time being, you just forget about NEP. Number one.
Okay.
Now you say, if I forget, then how will I do NEP? So my answer to that is that let us focus more on NCF now.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yes.
So forget about NEP, because I will tell you why I'm asking you to forget about NEP. I hope nobody will quote me that Ashok Pandey said that forget about NEP. No, what I'm saying is that now we have moved from NEP to NCF. Let me connect the dots just to clarify it better. NEP is a collection of aspirations that the society of India as a whole has. Okay. And that was articulated in those 60 pages. That is NEP. But it is still a vision of philosophy.
Yes.
Now, when we move from there, then we want some concrete statements about that vision so that it becomes very easy for us to follow. And that concrete statements about the policy is NCF, which has come only recently.
Yes.
Now, so what is NCF? I can explain to you that there is a purpose of education. It is very clearly given there, and you can add your own 2 or 3 purposes. It is not that that is exhaustive, and you have to do that only. So you can add few more. But let us say that it has given you the purpose of education. Now, if that is the purpose of education, then how do we achieve it? And for that, we need a curriculum. A curriculum is a scheme of things, a whole lot of experience within the school and outside, which will help us achieve those educational objectives.
Yeah, desired results.
Right? Now, so once we know that curriculum, now the curriculum from class nursery to 12 is very vast.
Yes.
And therefore, it is broken into 4 stages. The foundation stage, preparatory stage, middle, and senior stage. Is it right?
Yes.
So are we fully are we moving logically, Anita ma'am, here?
Yes, yes.
So this curriculum is divided into these 4. Now, for each section, let us say for foundation stage, we know what is our purpose of education. From that, we know what is our curriculum. So curriculum is a very broad thing. Now that curriculum needs to be further broken into 2 or 3 granular statements. So, for example, I'll just give you an example that it is a curricular framework for the foundation stage that the children must develop their numeracy and language.
Exactly.
This is the curriculum.
Yes.
But now we have to break it into curricular goals that the children must speak, or they should be able to express themselves, or they should be able to recite a rhyme, or whatever it is. So these are called curricular goals. Now, to achieve this goal, the children have to develop competencies. So what is the competency? Are children able to understand in their own language? Are they able to express themselves? Are they able to communicate with each other? These are the competencies.
Yeah.
So once they know these competencies, then we will be able to judge what are their learning outcomes. And for that, we will devise a very nice assessment, right?
Yes.
So I'm just sketching it once again. The aim and the vision, then the curriculum, then the curricular goal, curricular object competencies, and then the learning outcomes, and then assess. Now, this is the continuum on which every teacher has to go. And then how best we do it, and how children develop those competencies, and how those learning outcomes are realized at each stage from foundation till the secondary. This is what NEP says, nothing more than that. So the philosophy we can do, the epistemology we can do, everything we can do. But ultimately, it comes to that level where we are able to design our lesson, that what is the learning outcome we have in mind in terms of those competencies, in terms of that curricular goal for every stage. I think this clarity is more important than any other clarity of NEP. That is why I said we can keep it aside for some time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pandey ji. Anita Koslari, you have put a right question. Many people have similar kind of doubt. And then I really admire and appreciate Ashok Pandeyji. You have synthesized it and then very detailed you have explained it. Thank you so much, sir. Can we take one more question? One more question, a straight question, if anyone wants to ask.
Yeah, it's Mr. Dr. Pandey. Yeah.
Welcome, Prasad Rauji.
Thank you so much. It has been so quite good of a discussion we had. Of course, there are lots of questions in the minds of every leader. There are a lot of takeaways today. But always what actually bothers a leader in a school, that's very organically functioning, right? What bothers the leader is how my school becomes a school where emotions have a place. We are only connected through cognitive, what we call cognitive connect. Everyone works to certain fine-tuned thing, certain pre-expectations. But I think in most of the schools, it would be better if leaders actually instill in the team from top to the bottom that kind of an angle element where that relational, that emotional, that empathy, and they actually form the basis of running an organization. The cognitive and pedagogical domains, of course, do follow. There's no doubt about it. But we are trying to put the, cart before the horse. That is the thing that is happening. So don't you think that by making the entire atmosphere very electrifying in a school, which will actually make the things move forward in the right direction, there I think the leaders need to do a lot. So what's your opinion on this?
No, of course, I could not agree more with you, sir, and with your experience. I think an insightful observation that you have made. And this whole thing that we are talking about, the tools and instruments and kits and technology, they come later. The first comes the human relationship, the human aspect, the trust, belongingness, love, affection, empathy, compassion. And that is why these values, in whatever era we step in, these eternalities and eternal values will never change. And that is why when some people say that we have to break our boundaries and we have to challenge the norms, I say, go ahead, very good. But please do not challenge and do not break the boundaries of human relationship. The norms which have sustained and helped the society cling together, those norms cannot be challenged. And whenever we have tried to challenge those norms where human to human relationship, then we have put ourselves into trouble. So I think there is absolutely no denial to this fact. And that is where, when we say that the teacher is a role model, and how that teacher, the principal or the head teacher or the management, how will you demonstrate it? You will demonstrate it not by giving only the targets, but also by empathizing whether those targets are achievable or not, they are feasible or not. And you also have the ability to judge the personal circumstances of the people who are working with you. So no organization can function, whether it is a school or a manufacturing industry, where the human issues are ignored. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Prasad Rao sir, Dr. Prasad Rao sir, for your observation, and then Pandeyji. And then now we will conclude the Q&A, and then now I invite Sachin Gupta ji to give a presentation on behalf of Brainfeed.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sachin from Brainfeed. If I am visible and audible to you, please give me a thumbs up.
Yeah,
a double thumbs
you're
up.
visible and audible.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for confirming, Madhu sir. Okay, so I have a few questions before I start off, and of course, uh, and one more thing before I start, I would say that next time I would prefer talking before Dr. Pandey or Pandey talks, because the kind of benchmarks in knowledge, understanding, and eloquency that he sets, it's very difficult to match that. So, sir, I would definitely like to speak before you do, and set low standards for myself and come up onto that. Thank you so much for the session today. But talking about Brainfeed, I just want to ask the forum here, how many of you knew Brainfeed before this particular webinar? So if you knew Brainfeed before this webinar, type out me in the chat box. Okay, so I'm seeing some answers coming in here. Lovely. And that's nice. All of you, many of you knew about Brainfeed before this, and thank you for that. How many of you have read Brainfeed anytime in your life? Like, have you read the Brainfeed magazine for the teachers? Just type out me in the chat box again. Great, read, super. Thank you, Mr. Ajay. And how many of you find the value in Brainfeed magazine as an educator? Type out I do if you feel that it is a lot of value that comes to you through Brainfeed. Thank you so much. That's really encouraging. Okay, so Brainfeed, as such, you all are aware, is an educator's magazine, and that is what we started with. It was in 2013 that Mr. Brahmam initiated uh, this effort of bringing in the fraternity together and connecting them through a magazine called Brainfeed. Subsequently, there were 4 siblings to Brainfeed. I don't know if you guys know about, but there are 4 siblings to Brainfeed. If you guys know about those siblings, just type out I know in the chat box. And after this, I'll share a PPT, take you through the various things. Thank you so much. And I'll take you through various activities that Brainfeed does. And this PPT is going to guide me in that. Just a moment. So Madhu sir, I hope my PPT is visible. The screen is visible there.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible, Sachin.
Super.
Please go ahead.
Sure. So as Brainfeed says, today's readers are tomorrow's leaders. For this purpose, we've got 4 siblings of okay.
Yeah.
I am so sorry for the technical glitches. These things tend to happen whatever preparations you do. So yeah, I don't have a presentation now, so I feel that's kind of a relief that it wouldn't go too long for you guys. So Brainfeed, I was just talking of the activities that we do. One is the magazine, the various magazines, the 5 titles that we have. The other thing is the expos, the conferences, the school awards, the workshops that Brainfeed does. Then we've got Ed Talks, for example, what we are doing today, which is in the form of bringing in educators for webinars, in the form of online interviews of various educators and prominent personalities. We've got Ed Talks featuring on our YouTube channel, Brainfeed TV. So I would request all of you to look at Brainfeed TV and take advantage of the content available there. Apart from this, there are a few other activities which are slightly lesser known activities of Brainfeed. You all would be doing an Olympiad, one or the other Olympiad in your school. But I'm sure many of you don't know that Brainfeed has its own Olympiad as well. We called it MI Champs, wherein MI stands for multiple intelligences. So it's MI Champs. I'll be sharing that particular link to you, all of you, in the follow-up email. You could look at what MI Champs is. You could ask your students to enroll in it. And apart from that, we've got, so speaking of conferences, we do, our upcoming conference is happening in December, on 15th and 16th of December at HITEX in Hyderabad. That would have school awards, that would have multiple conferences, close to around 120 stalls in the expo. There would be close to around 24 workshops that we are going to conduct. It's going to be a 2-day affair, a major affair that we always do every year. I would be sharing the nomination links. You could nominate your school for the school awards and send in the details as required in the form. It's in December 15th and 16th. So we do MI Champs, which is our Olympiad. We've got our magazines. We've got our conferences, expos, expositions that we do. I request you all to take advantage of these, support us, encourage us by coming into these events, by subscribing to our magazines. That's very critical for us. And that is how probably your support would keep us encourage more to bring in such more events, to bring in more Ed Talks and continue with the series with prominent leaders like Ashok sir that we had today. That's it for me right now. I wouldn't stretch it further. Thank you so much for being here in the webinar today. Thank you. Madhu sir, over to you.
I think, Mr. Brahmam, would you like to say something? Sachin, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, Mr. Brahmam, are you around?
Sir, Mr. Brahmam has got an urgent call. I would take it forward. I think Madhu sir is also had to
Yeah,
move
so
off.
you can conclude, and before that, just give me a minute to thank everybody present here.
Please,
and
sir.
also to say a few words about Mr. Brahmam, a very down-to-earth person, an embodiment of humility, and a great entrepreneur. He's also a teacher like us, and the kind of work that he's doing to connect the educators across the country is something very commendable. So I wanted to record my appreciation for him and for our organization, and that is why I intervened again. And thank you all very much. Sachin, if you have to say something, you can say and conclude.
Absolutely, sir. I would like to thank everybody, especially to you, for giving us such insights, such important insights in a very clarified, in a very organized manner, the way the presentation that you gave. It was, I am sure everyone would have got a very clear understanding on how can a leadership be created and how the team, the second leaderships or the higher leaderships can be created in a particular institution. Thank you for that. I thank everybody for taking out time today evening on a Saturday, on a weekend, to listen to us, to join our webinar, to listen to Dr. Pandey, to spend a little time listening to what Brainfeed does. And I thank Mr. Madhusudan sir for anchoring the entire show today, and all of you again for joining us. We'll keep sending you emails and information about future webinars, which are likely to happen at least monthly once, is what we are looking at. The frequency can be more, but we'll keep reaching out to you guys on this particular platform. Thank you. Thank you again so much, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.